I call the honourable member for Lalor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I welcome the opportunity this evening to talk about a housing forum I recently hosted in my electorate. The forum brought together many from our community, including representatives from local aid agencies, the Department of Human Services and Victoria Police, as well as our local councillors and state members of Parliament. On the table for discussion, homelessness, tenancy eviction and mortgage stress. Madam Speaker, these are issues of huge importance to my local community. A recent report from the Victorian Civil Administrative Tribunal shows that 263 eviction warrants were executed in 2012-13. Between 2010-11 and 2012-13, a total of 684 evictions were executed. Madam Speaker, let me repeat that because it's a shocking figure. 684 households within the Wyndham local government area have been evicted over the past 3 years. This represents the highest number of any LGA within the state, and this is only tenancy eviction. It does not include the number of local residents who are homeless, those who are desperately waiting for public housing, those at risk of foreclosing on their mortgages, or those for whom meeting their rent is a week-to-week proposition. Over the election campaign, while at train stations and street stalls, numerous local residents approached me about these issues, not just for themselves, but out of concern for a friend or a neighbour or for the wider community. I think it's because the concept of home, Madam Speaker, is one we all hold very dear. Indeed, at the end of a parliamentary sitting week, I'm particularly reminded of how important it is. So when these people are at risk of tenancy eviction or not being able to meet their housing payments, we know their employment, their education, the future of their family is also at risk. Clearly, Madam Speaker, it is an issue that needs to be urgently addressed. And so, following my election as member for Lalor, I wanted to take immediate action. I knew a forum would be the best way to bring people together from across our community, to talk about the local experiences of housing and homelessness, to discover what we have and what is missing, and ultimately, Madam Speaker, to help find a solution. The causes surrounding and affecting housing stress in our community are probably not a surprise. They range from being afraid to ask for help, to domestic violence, family breakdown, drugs and alcohol. They are the same issues, Madam Speaker, that to some degree affect every community in Australia. But in a growing community like ours, where infrastructure and services can sometimes struggle to keep up, they are exacerbated. Too often, residents, whatever their problem may be, don't know where to go for help, and so we lose our best chance for success, early intervention. In discussing the factors that are worsening the issue, Madam Speaker, we also spoke about how much the cuts currently being proposed by the Abbott government would hurt. The abolishment of the school kids bonus and the end of the low income support bonus will only punish the most vulnerable in our community. Already, constituents are contacting me afraid of what Abbott's acts will mean for their ability to meet their rent or mortgage payments, put food on the table and send their kids to school. I've also been contacted in relation to the ATO's draft ruling in relation to charging GST on movable home estates. I know that Bob, a local Werribee resident, is concerned that should the changes go ahead, many, particularly seniors, may not be able to stay in their homes. Even more troubling, one of the first things Tony Abbott did as Prime Minister was to abolish the Council on Homelessness, followed soon after by axing the National Housing Supply Council. Madam Speaker, this hardly signals a commitment to tackling housing stress. More recently, the government has refused to commit to the National Affordable Housing Agreement and the National Partnership Agreement on Homelessness. Under the Affordable Housing Agreement, more than $6 billion worth of assistance was supplied to low and middle income Australians in its first 5 years. Locally, under the Social Housing Initiative, we saw a helping hand extended with 13 homes built for Wyndham families. The Partnership Agreement on Homelessness also provided funding to help those in our community at risk. Long-term accommodation, emergency assistance, outreach for those particularly vulnerable, our young people, seniors, those with mental health concerns. And now we hear that the government is unwilling to confirm future performance reporting for the National Rental Affordability Scheme. Madam Speaker, it is a grave concern for everyone in our community, because a home is more than four walls. I call on the Coalition to affirm their commitment to tackling housing stress and homelessness and continue the important work undertaken by the previous Labor governments.